Hi, I'm Tom. I run ACD Sleeve, and if this is the first video you're watching in the do-it-yourself packaging series, then go back and watch the first 3 parts on tools and equipment, on software and artwork creation, and on cardboard and print. And there's other tips and advice and pointers in those previous videos. When you get your printed sheets back, however you've got the print onto them, you want to make them up. So first thing you want to do is use a pin to pierce through these markers to show where you need to crease on the reverse side. So then you flip it over. And as you can see, these 2 points. Take your ruler, use whatever tool that you're using to crease, and crease that line. If you're having a finger grip cut, then take the circle cutter. I recommend using some glue or melting this to keep it at the radius that you want. So this is set at 15mm radius. And using the point, you want to spin that round. It gives you a circle cut. You want to do this before you cut the outer lines. Then cut around the template. So ideally you'd want to change the scalpel blade before you do this. Just be careful doing this because these are surgical grade. I used to use a pair of pliers to take them out initially, but over the years I've done it that many times that I know how much pressure it takes, because accidents could happen. So fresh scalpel blade should last a while. They can snap immediately, so don't be concerned with that. So then we start cutting. So just follow the template lines so that the line sits outside onto the waist. Just take your time with this. The thousands of pieces of packaging that I made by this means that even though I've not done this for quite a few years now, that it's kind of ingrained in me. So don't worry if you overshoot it, just take your time. The speed will come with practice. Just pop out. If there's little bits of card, you can just neaten those up. Then you want to do the rest of the creases now. So flip it over, and if you watched the 2-panel slipcase video, it's a similar idea of using the edges of the board as a guide to know where to crease for the gluing flap and the spine. Now that's all creased, you want to fold it. I always start at the spine. Fold these panels over and glue flap over, and again So with gluing, I'm using the 3M tape gun with 12mm 904 tape. Whatever glue you use, it's the same principle. So I'd always run a line of glue along the spine. So this creates a pinch point that the CD is held in with. Tape up the glue flap. And the other side. There you have it. Your own 4-panel CD case with a spine. So I'd always produce these in stages. So I'd poke all the holes, then I'd do all the reverse creases, I'd do all the circle cutting, I'd do all the outer cutting, I'd then do all the creases, and then do all the gluing. I'd do them in batches of around 20 or 25, depending on the order size. So 25 of each step. It just breaks up the work so it's a little less monotonous. So I'll do that now and run through some of these. So here we have a job with 2 openings and no finger grips. Which is the same process. Here we have one like the first example with a finger grip, and another 2 openings and no finger grips. Flip them over. Find the points for creasing on the back. Find the one with the finger grip to be cut. So again, just mark it on that point and slowly drag the circle cutter around, making sure it's gone through. Then onto cutting. You don't want to do too much in one go. Well, I didn't want to do too much in one go, because I did find it can get pretty tiring. So I try and break it up with other jobs that I needed to do, like checking artwork, sending stuff to print, boxing up jobs, general other things. Because holding this ruler down already, I feel like it takes your toll on your arms and wrist a little bit. I guess I'm an old man now, considering that I started this when I was 22, and I turn 40 next year. Surprisingly, I've never had a terrible injury with the scalpel. Shaved my fingertip off a few times, but the only time it was really bad was when I dropped it and tried to catch it, and it caught my knuckle. My thumb just exploded. So the 2 opening version, all the creases are sorted on those because it's done in the 1 pass. So you want to go back to the 1 panel, the 1 panel, the 1 opening. Then fold all of them. So I did forget to do the reverse of these because they obviously need creasing on the spine. Just going onto autopilot. So crease these. If you spotted that, then that's pretty good going. So, like I said, crease these, fold these, sorry. So I'll put the 2 panel cases together. After I've done the single. So glue the single with a line of glue along the spine and the glue flap there. Says single opening sorted. So with 2 openings, depending on what's going in the second one, so you want to run the glue down the spine. Obviously, if you don't think that's necessary, then you don't have to glue it. So if this is having a booklet, then ordinarily I would just let it pass through. So it wouldn't be sealed there. So it just passes through, makes getting an insert in and out a little bit easier. But if you were to have a second CD, I would glue it similarly to the right hand panel, where you have glue along the spine just to keep the CD in place with that pinch point that I mentioned. So these are some ways you can package your CD using a 4-panel CD case. So this, along with the previous videos, are roughly all the steps you need to make your own 4-panel CD packaging. You can take these steps and templates and adapt them however you want to get your release exactly how you want it to be. I've started a CD sleeve again after 8 years away not making music packaging. The reason I want to share these videos is because I always love to see people's creativity and what they can do. A lot of people were asking on this channel about questions on templates, on print, on card, on cutter guides, on nets. So I know there's people who this might be of use to, so I just thought if I show how I used to make everything first time round, then spreading knowledge is never a bad thing. I'm able to do much more advanced work this time, removing a lot of this manual work from production, which is brilliant. I made a lot of pieces of packaging by hand this way, thousands and thousands. So if I'm able to work with you guys down the line on future releases, then I don't see how this is a bad thing to share this knowledge on releases that you want to release yourself. And when you get to the point that it's a bit too much work, then you know where I am. Subscribe if you haven't, share it to people who you think might be interested. Let me know if I've missed anything out or anything doesn't quite make sense, and I'll post a follow-up video. But broadly speaking, these videos as a series should get you to the point where you can produce your packaging yourself, be able to adapt some of these designs, and get you a nice physical product at the end of it. Nice one, thank you.